Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving deep into what makes Crick Battle so strategic and, honestly, so much fun: the salary cap format. If you're looking to graduate from just picking a team for a single match to becoming a true season-long manager, well, you are in exactly the right place.
So, when you think of fantasy cricket, what comes to mind? Is it just grabbing 11 players for tonight's game? Well, think again. That's just the tip of the iceberg. The real test of skill, the game that separates the good from the great, is played over an entire season. It's a marathon of strategy, not a quick sprint.
Okay, so let's break this down. On one hand, you've got your typical daily fantasy sports, or DFS. It's quick, it's fun, you pick a team, and it's over in a day. But Crick Battle's salary cap, that is a whole different ballgame. It's a single, powerful system that works for one match or an entire tournament, and it's packed with customization that really puts you in the manager's chair.
And get this isn't some side feature. A massive 70% of Crick Battle users are playing in these season-long salary cap leagues. This is the main event. It's how the most dedicated managers prove their cricket knowledge over the long haul. So let's figure out how to play like they do.
All right, first things first, we have to build a team. But here's the catch: you can't just go and grab all the superstars. You're working with a budget, and this is where the real strategy kicks in. A classic mistake is to spend almost everything on a couple of big names, leaving your team with zero depth. We're going to avoid that.
So what exactly is salary cap? It's pretty simple, actually. Every single player in the tournament is given a price tag, which is their virtual salary. You get a total budget for your team, and your challenge is to assemble the best squad you possibly can, all while staying under that spending limit.
This right here? This is the golden rule. It's the one constraint that shapes every single decision you make. If you decide to splash the cash on a premium, high-salary player, you've got to find some bargains somewhere else to make it work. It's a fantastic puzzle. And a little pro tip for you: always be on the lookout for those undervalued players who look like they're about to hit a purple patch.
So, building your team is basically a three-step dance. Step 1, you select your players. Step 2, you have to follow the team composition rules. Things like having a certain number of bowlers or not too many players from one real-world team. And remember, these rules can often be customized by your private league's admin, so always check. And step 3, of course, is to stay under that salary cap. Do those 3 things, and boom, you've got yourself a valid team.
Now, building that first team, that's just the beginning. The real art of a season-long league is how you manage and adapt your squad from one match to the next, and that brings us to trades, the engine that's going to power your entire season.
A trade on Crick Battle is super straightforward. You drop one player out of your squad, and you add one player in from the global pool of available players. It's always a one-for-one swap. The key thing to remember is that the new player's salary still has to fit within your remaining budget.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. You don't get unlimited trades. Your league gives you a specific number to last the entire season, so you have to treat every single trade like it's gold. The biggest mistake you can make is to panic trade after one bad game. Resist the urge. Plan ahead.
Okay, this is a great question, one we all have. What if you're indecisive? You swap a player out, then an hour later you change your mind, then you swap someone else. Do all those little moves eat up your precious trades?
And the answer is no. Crick Battle has this really smart system called lock to lock. Basically, it only cares about the difference between your team when the last match started and your final team when the next match starts. This means you can tinker and experiment all you want before the deadline without being punished for it.
And this example makes it perfectly clear. Let's say your team from the last match had player A. Now, before the next deadline, you swap player A for player B. Then you think better of it and swap player B for player C. When the deadline hits, the system just looks at the start and end point. It sees you started with A and ended with C. That's one player out, one player in, net change of 1. So you're only charged for one single trade. It's brilliant.
Okay, we've nailed team building and we understand trades. Now for the really fun stuff. Let's talk about the advanced tools that can give you a serious leg up on the competition: boosters and the fantastic advanced team selection feature.
Think of boosters as your secret weapons, your tactical power-ups that you can use once per match. You might have one to double your points, another that gives you a little extra budget to play with, or even one that grants you a bonus trade. Pro tip: save these. Don't waste your 2x points booster on an easy match. Use them tactically when the stakes are high.
Now, this feature is an absolute game changer, especially for busy managers or those of us spread across different time zones. Advanced Team Selection lets you set your teams for future matches ahead of time. So if a deadline is at 3 a.m. your time, or you know you'll be busy, you can get everything sorted out in advance. It's also great for planning your strategy through a tricky set of upcoming games.
But, and this is a big but, you have to be careful. There's something called the overwrite risk. The system works in order, sequentially. So imagine you set your team for match 4, and then you go ahead and set your team for match 5. If you then go back and change your team for match 4, the system automatically makes your match 5 team an exact copy of your new match 4 team. It has to do this to keep all the trade calculations correct.
So the key takeaway here is simple, but you gotta remember it. Always work in order. Finalize your earlier matches first before moving on to the next one. If you absolutely have to go back and edit a past match, you have to assume that all the future teams you set are now wiped and need to be redone. Please don't fall into this trap.
Whew. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, from budgets and trades all the way to advanced planning. So let's just boil it all down into a quick, simple, winning strategy.
Here it is. Number 1, treat your budget like a puzzle and always hunt for value. Number 2, guard your trades. They're your lifeline for the whole season, so no panic moves. Number 3, use those boosters tactically when they'll make the biggest difference. And finally, number 4, when using advanced team selection, always finalize your teams in order.
So there you have it. That's the playbook for mastering Crick Battle's salary cap format. It's a game of skill, foresight, and strategy that is so much more rewarding than just a single match. You now have the blueprint for success. The only question left is, what's your first move going to be?